What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Minecraft Legends. Now, I've only played the game for a few hours, and by a few, I think I literally mean, well, I guess 3. I think 3 is technically a few, right? I played it for 3 hours. I have some early thoughts of the game. Don't look at this as a full-on review. I'm certainly not going to title it as a full-on review. I just want to give people kind of my thoughts of the game early on. With all these other games about to come out, to be honest, I don't know when the next time I'll jump into Minecraft is, but at the same time, I did enjoy my time. So I have mixed feelings about this game for sure. I think at its base, it's relatively solid. There's some things that really holds it back, I would say. And that's coming from somebody who loves RTS games, but doesn't really play them all that much. But even somebody like that, like me, can, I think, identify some of the missing things that this game does not have. The biggest thing I want to start with is, who is this game for? So I was playing this game with 2 of my friends, and as we were playing, we all kind of came to the same conclusion. Who is this game for? So I thought, all right, well, I have a 9-year-old daughter, right? She plays Minecraft. She loves Minecraft. I think this game's too hard. I actually think this game, because it's too different, right? It's not actual Minecraft. It's not as casual. It's not go around, mine things, build literally whatever you want. It's not that. But at the same time, if it's for like a diehard RTS fan, I definitely don't. I think there's some fatal flaws, namely being how you control like your minions, like your golems, the things that you take into fights with you. Controlling them is an absolute pain. It's annoying. It feels like counterproductive. It doesn't really work. And also, I guess, just at its core, I don't really think this is for like a diehard RTS. So if you saw like reviews leading up, right, people that got to get this game early, they kind of said the same thing, and I actually do agree with them. I don't know who this game is made for, because it's too hard to be for a Minecraft player, but it's too easy and just not detailed enough to be for an RTS player. So it's trying to do both without actually doing both. With that being said, I think the story is fine. The cutscene, I actually watched the cutscenes. My friends were actually skipping the cutscenes, but I think they were okay. I'd say the campaign really is to kind of just get your feet wet. Because when you go into, versus mode, when you start playing other people, well, they throw everything. It's kind of gradual how everything starts to unlock, and obviously you have to build certain structures and stuff to start to unlock more things. So it's progressive and it'll get you there. But the main story, I'd say, is a lot slower, right? It has these kind of big moments. You have to destroy like this one like massive camp, and there's multiple kind of levels to it, and you have to craft your own stuff to go in. And the main story is always like unlocking the next thing very slowly. It really is, in a way, maybe like half or even maybe more than half a tutorial for what you're supposed to be, how the game actually operates. Honestly, I don't mind that, because I'm not going to take the story of this game seriously anyway. So it wants to teach me how to play, which it did, right? I played the story enough to kind of understand. I didn't get, all the way through it. I didn't get to where it's really going to start to unlock like the hardcore things that you do get to as you, play versus. But the story is fine. In terms of the versus mode, one thing I want to say that it needs to be fixed. It absolutely needs to be fixed, and I'm sure eventually it will, so this won't be an issue anymore. So playing with your friends is nearly impossible. One of my friends, when we were playing together, he looked it up, I think, on like the subreddit, and other people were having this issue. So it was 3 of us, and we wanted to all be on the same team, go into matchmaking, find a 4th person, and then play against 4. That was our plan. So when we did it, when we joined our game, so somebody hosted the game, and then the other 2 would join it, it would alternate placement. So one of us would be on the team with the other friend, the other would be put on the opposite team, and there is 0 way to get off of that team and back on your friend's team. So this is a game that really, I think it's a lot of fun, actually. I'm going to get there. It's a lot of fun playing it with friends. In fact, I think all 3 of us played it against so you can do that. All 3 of us played it against the AI in like a training mode for versus, and we had a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun having some people go out. You'll kind of all have your own mini assignments, and you're chatting to each other. You're talking through what you're going to be doing. I think it elevates the fun of this game, like, honestly, 10 times. It's really so much better like that. So naturally, the thing that makes this game fun, there's a bug or a glitch that makes it so you can't do it, right? So when you're playing other people online, which probably is when it's the most fun. Now, we did play. I'll get to there in a second. But they just say, nope, sorry, not today. So you end up playing actually against your friends instead of on the same team as your friends. So that is a massive, massive issue that needs to be fixed. And I'm sure it will over the coming days. But I'm playing it day one. And I think, well, not too many people are actually playing it day one. But whoever was playing it day one, they deserve to be able to play with people they want to play with. So that's just kind of baffling. As for the game itself, I do think it's actually pretty darn good. I enjoy building. I think you can already see the creativity. In fact, when we were playing online, we're playing with strangers. Some of them, they have different styles than what we're going to have. They're not listening to us on chat, right? Because we have a party chat. So they're kind of doing their own thing. I think the game organically works pretty darn well, right? You go out, you're mining different things. I actually really love the mining mechanics. So you have workers, and you have workers that will mine for you, and you have workers that will build for you, and you each have a limited amount of them. So you can go out in the wild, place basically a chest, and it'll just automatically do it. The AI will just grab all these trees, and it'll tell you. I mean, I really love that. So you can go to a patch of trees, drop this chest, and it'll tell you, oh, this is going to give you 2,000 wood. And so you confirm it, and then you just leave, and then it's just constantly mining it and adding it to your your deposit, your whatever, your bank of all these different materials. I absolutely love that. And then again, the core of this game: build up as many materials as you can. Take out the piglins, take out their kind of bases, or at least a little of their bases, right? Because they kind of give you unique currency. And then you build out your own base. You protect your base, you build around it, and what you see people do with it is actually pretty cool. Multi-layered kind of castles. They showed this in one of the early kind of gameplays where their castles were, well, I say castle, I don't know, a fortress, like whatever you want to call it. It's incredible. So I think the creativity with the actual crafting is super cool. What you can actually kind of build. Obviously, you want to build, your little turrets, your arrow towers, I think they're called. You want to build your stations to be able to call upon, allies to take them to attack. So all that stuff I think is actually really fun. The game lasts a while. So we were playing one in particular match lasted, well, I felt kind of way too long. Like it lasted almost an hour. And I think very early on, one player on my team quit. So it was actually 4-on-3. And then eventually, I had to put my daughter to bed. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to get off. I'm going to leave. It was after an hour. We were kind of losing. My two friends were on the other team. So I was like, I don't care. I don't care what happens here. But the matches can take a long time. And I feel like the initial phase of building up, getting materials, I think that's a lot of fun. I think as this game progresses, as people get more skilled, it'll obviously become, I think, more detailed, more fun, because you're going to have to worry about, the different strategies, I guess, of teams are going to start to show themselves a bit more. With that being said, I looked at Steam database to see how many people are playing it. There's not a lot of people playing it. I think the all-time high was 5,300. So that's extremely small, specifically for a game. You could just play it. There's millions upon millions of people that have Game Pass. And so I don't think too many people are playing it, ultimately because I think potentially, who's this game for, right? Because now one thing that's a weakness that I talked about, the allies, who you take into battle. So they have some of the most brain-dead systems in place for that in particular. And that's kind of a huge deal. So building is a big deal in this game, right? You build walls, you can build ramps, you can build bridges. You can do some pretty cool stuff. But ultimately, well, here's the thing. When it comes to structures, you yourself, riding on your, whatever it is, your animal, can't take them out. You can take out enemies, you can take out the other team's, playable characters, but you can't take out structures. So you need your creations to be able to do that for you. So you create them, and then you take them with you, and you destroy whatever. The other team, the piglins or the AI, you do all that. The issue is these people that you're controlling are garbage, absolute garbage. So a couple things you have to do. First, you have to have them all follow you. So you hit, in my case, I was playing on Xbox, so you hit X, and everybody comes towards you, but it's only in this small blue circle. So if you have allies that are 20 feet to your left or right, they do not count. So you need to run around on your pig. I think it's a pig that you're on. I'm not 100% sure. You need to run around on your pig and just spam X to make sure all of your allies are in one group with you. Now, Now they'll follow you, and then when you attack, you have to direct them to attack a specific thing. But here's the thing. Oftentimes, the allies get stuck on something. They'll walk through fire, and like half of them will die. Even though you didn't walk through the fire, they'll take like an alternate path, walk through the fire. They'll attack. Here's where it really breaks down. They'll attack a structure, and then they'll stop. They will literally stand still. Also, if you die, they will stand still. So if you take a group, 20 people, which is, well, it depends actually. I think when you're starting to play multiplayer, it'll actually grow. I think you can have like up to 40 or maybe even 60 of these little small minions with you. So you take an army with you, right, to a base. If you die, they will stand there and get slaughtered. That's so, in my opinion, that's so dumb. Why can't they fight or continue on? And on top of that, if they do what you say, so if you have them attack one arrow tower, now the enemy base could have 30 arrow towers. You have them attack one. Well, number one, you have to tell them specifically to attack that one. Otherwise, they get really confused and they almost don't attack anything, right? So they'll attack that. They break it down. They destroy it. They stand there. They stand there, and the great thing, they won't even do the net. You have to make sure they're still all in that group. Because if for whatever reason some of them break out from that like circle group you have, they won't listen to you for the next order. So not only will they not attack things naturally, right? If there's two arrow towers directly next to each other, they won't just go to the next arrow tower. You have to tell them to do that. But also, if, God forbid, some get broken off or they get distracted by like an enemy coming, if they do that and they're too far away, you have to regroup them all. So you could be in the other team's fortress getting slaughtered, or there's just a lot of stuff going on. And you have to worry about getting all of your group in one small area. They all have to be in one small circle. Because if they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to do anything specific. I think that's almost game breaking. I think that's a huge issue. I noticed that right away with a single player where it's like, this is atrocious. And then in a multiplayer, like most of the battle, like the versus mode, was just about collecting and kind of building up. We didn't really attack each other till the end. But, like, oh, my God, how is that even going to work when we do attack each other, right? Because it's going to be a disaster. The allies don't listen to you. So I think that's a gigantic issue that really, really hurts this game. Not to the point, I guess, of not playing it, because I do still think it's fun. But it doesn't make me want to, like, play more. And ultimately, with all these other games coming out, like I said, especially, I guess, not being able to play with my friends, like, that's a huge one. If I can be assured that they fix that bug where we can all play together, I'll play it again for sure. I'll get those two that I was on with yesterday. We'll play as a team, 3, and then we'll get one, random person and play against 4. And I think we'd have a good amount of fun. But how many matches would we do, right? How many hours? I don't think this is a game that I would sink, tens of hours or, dozens and dozens of hours into. I really don't think it's that kind of game. You could say, well, it's not trying to be that kind. Well, it's got to be some kind of game, right? And ultimately, I think identity. This game struggles with its identity, and like SpongeBob, and that's a huge issue. And on top of that, again, the player base. 5,000, and that's on Steam, right? So it could be so much more on Xbox. That's definitely possible. But I will say one final thing. It took us forever to find a match. Forever. So we were in, it was 2 of them, 1 of me, right? So we only needed, you need at least 6 people. So you need a team of 3 versus 3. So it was 2 and 1. And it took probably 5 minutes. Probably 5 minutes to find a full team, and it's 4v4. And like I said, one of my people left, not even halfway through. Another one left right before I did, and then I left. So then it was only going to be 1 on 4 once I was gone. But it took 5 minutes, and you could say, oh, Alex, 5 minutes. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 5 minutes isn't too long. On launch day at night, not too late at night, like a normal night, there should be more people playing. Like it should have been way faster. You look at a lot of launch day games that have multiplayer, it's immediate because everybody's playing it. So of course you're gonna get matches. So I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, how long is that gonna take to find a match, right? Ultimately, it's a fine game. It's on Game Pass. I don't even feel like I lost any time of my life. Like I didn't sacrifice time. I generally enjoyed what I played. I don't know if I'd recommend this. I don't even know who I'd recommend this to because it's a really hard game to actually figure out who it's for. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.